The planet Meridix Gamma loomed in the void, shrouded by an eerie luminescence emitted by the alien flora and fauna overrunning its surface. The once thriving mining colony had long since succumbed to the tendrils of the Tyranid Hive fleet, transforming into a churning, biomorphic wasteland of rot. The Death Watch, those elite Xenos hunters sworn to safeguard the Imperium of Man, had arrived aboard the strike cruiser the Obsidian to investigate a garbled distress signal hinting at a secret the Inquisition deemed too important to ignore. Veteran brother Sergeant Malachi led Kill Team Aegis, 5 warriors clad in obsidian black power armor inscribed with silver aquilas and their chapter icons. Each was a paragon of their respective chapters. Malachi, an ultramarine, stoic and commanding. Uriel, a fire angel, his power sword ever poised. Torvik, the dark angel, cryptic and methodical. Decius, the white scar, swift and lethal. And Cadron, a crimson fist, wielding his heavy bolter with relentless precision. Their Thunderhawk pierced the choked atmosphere, the interior rattling under turbulence. LZ ahead, Malachi barked, his voice filtered through the Vox. Tertiary Hive Node Omega. Remember, this isn't just another purge mission. We're here for intel. Trust in the Emperor, and strike true. The Thunderhawk touched down amidst a desolate plain crawling with bioconstructs. Vines pulsing with bioluminescent ichor sprawled over metallic wreckage. Spore clouds swirled above, alive with chittering organisms. War specs online, Torvik murmured, his visor scanning the surroundings. No immediate hostiles. That won't last long, Uriel muttered. They moved with precision toward an Imperial signal source. According to the Inquisition's fragmentary intelligence, this site held research that could dictate the fate of the Tyranid War. A jagged crevice yawned beneath their feet, a long-abandoned mining shaft repurposed into a Tyranid biomass processing node. Cadron mounted his heavy bolter to overwatch as the others rappelled into the darkness. The stench was overwhelming, a fusion of rotting flesh and alien pheromones. The walls were organic, pulsing faintly as though alive. Decius gestured forward. Tracks, bipedal, human. A grim realization settled over the team. Survivors. They advanced, finding remnants of an underground laboratory, walls collapsed and littered with remains. Amidst the destruction, a cogitator blinked feebly. Torvik, Malachi ordered, "Recover what you can." Torvik knelt, extracting data from the ancient device. Encoded. The Tyranids couldn't decipher it. This technology predates the war. Suddenly, the room trembled. Malachi gestured for silence as the distant thunder of chitinous limbs drew closer. We're not alone. Cadron, prepare Overwatch. Uriel, Decius, defend this position. The first wave came as expected. Hormagaunts, shrieking and clawing, bounding into the chamber. Cadron unleashed disciplined volleys, reducing them to biomatter before they could close the distance. Uriel met those that reached the kill zone with his power sword, precise and elegant. From the shadows, lictors emerged, nearly undetectable until striking. One lunged for Decius, its scything talons rebounding off his storm shield. Uriel severed its arm with a blazing strike. Malachi's bolt pistol barked in retaliation, punching through another lictor's carapace. But as quickly as the skirmish began, it ended. Torvik's voice broke the tension. I've deciphered part of it. This research pertains to bioplasma manipulation, the hive mind's control mechanisms, and something anomalous, a neural node artifact. Malakir's brow furrowed. Where? Below. Deeper in the hive structure. Torvik's tone darkened. It could be a Tyranid command nexus, or something worse. Descending further, the team encountered nightmarish scenes. Human bodies cocooned into the walls, their organs harvested for biomass. Biomechanical constructs pulsed with energy, suggesting recent activity. The Tyranid synaptic network's whispers seemed to echo faintly in their helmets, an unsettling psychic thrum. At last, they entered a vast chamber, a grotesque cathedral of sinew and chitin. At its center was the artifact, a pulsating, crystalline mass. Tendrils of bioplasma connected it to surrounding nodes, pulsing rhythmically. "What is that?" Decius whispered, his voice tinged with awe and revulsion. Torvik's auspex beeped incessantly. It's generating psychic waves. It's alive, connected directly to the hive mind. Malakir's instincts screamed to destroy it, but the Inquisition's orders stayed his hand. Extract data. The Emperor wills it. As Torvik began interfacing, the artifact stirred. Psychic pressure surged, slamming into the Marines like a tidal wave. Through the bond of the hive mind, images flooded their minds. Worlds burning, fleets consumed, and at the center, a singular intelligence, a manifestation of the hive mind, learning, adapting, creating. "It's gestating something," Torvik stammered. "A bioweapon, a new synaptic species." Before they could act, the chamber erupted. Tyranid warriors swarmed from every orifice, and a hive tyrant emerged, its presence bolstering the lesser creatures with undeniable authority. Defensive positions. Malakir roared. "Hold the line." The battle was furious. Cadron's heavy bolter blazed until the barrel melted. Decius and Uriel formed an impenetrable phalanx, slashing and blocking with tireless ferocity. Torvik fired his plasma gun in measured bursts, even as he relayed data. But the hive tyrant was relentless, shrugging off bolter rounds as it closed in. It knocked Decius aside, his armor denting against the wall. Uriel leapt to intercept, driving his power sword through its thorax, but even this barely slowed the beast. "Fall back," Malakir shouted, hurling a crack grenade at the artifact. It detonated, cracking its surface but not destroying it. Torvik tossed Malakir a data slate. "The Inquisition must know what we've found. You're the fastest." The sergeant understood. Gripping the slate, he activated his jump pack and ascended, leaving his brothers behind. Below, he heard their final prayers and oaths as the Tyranids consumed them. The artifact's psychic cries grew deafening, and as Malakir reached the surface, he signaled the Obsidian. The Thunderhawk arrived in time to extract Malakir. Orbiting above, the Obsidian began a sterilization bombardment, reducing the hive to molten slag. Yet in the sergeant's heart, unease remained. The data revealed truths the Inquisition would bury, truths the hive mind itself feared. If the Imperium could act swiftly, this weapon could be neutralized, but if not, the galaxy might face the end of mankind. As the cruiser slipped into the warp, Malakir prayed that the sacrifice of his brothers would not be in vain.